Yo, what is up, everyone? My name is Nick, or The Notorious Fantasy, and today I am bringing you guys yet another fantasy football video. In today's video, we got Fantasy Football 2020 Top 10 tight ends. Now, some of these guys would have been in the top 10 last year, and some of these guys are brand new faces, guys that I think are going to explode onto the scene in 2020. Now, before I get into this video, I'd like to tell you guys to please subscribe to this channel. I know you just got on here, you may be brand new. A lot of my viewers are brand new. About 60 to 70% on every video are brand new viewers, so please make sure to click that subscribe button. You're not going to want to miss out on daily content all off season long, and then when the season starts, I ain't leaving you. I'm going to be posting even more during the season, so let's get right into the video. Fantasy Football 2020 Top 10 tight ends. Coming in at number 10, we are doing this in reverse: 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off. Now, at number 10, we got Big Dick Noah Fant here of the Denver Broncos. He is a 6.9 PPG in PPR, so that means 6.9 points per game. Now, I know that is not going to scream out to you, 6.9, nice, not very good. But his stats will tell another tale for this season, I believe. Now, in last season, in 2019, he was tight end number 16 in 2019, 111 PPR points, 16 total games, so he didn't miss any games, 562 receiving yards, 13th amongst tight ends, 40 receptions on 66 targets, 3 total touchdowns, 16th amongst tight end, and 25.0 contested catch rate, 31st amongst tight ends. Now, Noah Fant dealt with a lot of adversity last season. Noah Fant had to deal with the fact that he was playing with a bunch of different quarterbacks. At one point, it was Joe Flacco. At another point, it was Brandon Allen. And at the end of the season, it was Horsecock Drew Lock. Now, I think this season, Noah Fant cements himself as an even bigger part of this Broncos offense. It's Courtland Sutton, Phillip Lindsay, and Noah Fant. They really don't have too many offensive weapons. I think that Noah Fant will become a huge weapon for this team in 2020. I believe he will be seeing a lot more usage on the field. I think he's going to be seeing a lot more balls thrown his way. Sure, he only got 66 targets in his rookie year, but compared to other rookie tight ends, that is very, very good. He is going to be a guy that is getting a lot more usage, like I said, and I think that Drew Lock really likes the safety in Noah Fant. Typically, these younger type of quarterbacks, the first, second, third year, they're really targeting the tight end position as their safety blanket, which is what I think Drew Lock is going to do in 2020, and I think that Noah Fant is going to be a great option this season. Coming in number 9, we have Tyler Higbee of the LA Rams, 10.7 points per game. Now, some people in the comments are going to have an issue with Tyler Higbee. Tyler Higbee is a guy that I didn't even like at the beginning of the season. I did not really believe in him because it was Tyler Higbee, and then there was the other couple of tight ends that were there. But slowly, Tyler Higbee went from down here, and the other guys were up here. He went, woo, and passed them up. He said, this shit is my job. Tyler Higbee in 2019 finished as tight end number 8 on the season, 160.4 PPR points in 2019, 15 games played in 2019, 734 receiving yards, which is 7th amongst tight ends, 69 receptions, nice, on 89 targets, 3 total tutties, 16th amongst tight ends, and a 60.0 contested catch rate, 8th amongst tight ends. Now, obviously, a worry is, like I said at the beginning, they do have a lot of tight ends on the roster in LA for the Rams, but I think at the end of the day, Tyler Higbee has cemented himself as the clear number 1 tight end in LA, and Jared Goff likes to spread the ball out. I know they do have a lot of options on the team, so that may worry you. You might be thinking, oh, Nick, they have Brandon Cooks, they've got Robert Woods, they've got so many talented wide receivers, they got Cooper Kupp, they got all these tight ends, they got these running backs. What are they going to do? Throw it to Tyler Higbee. Tyler Higbee is still going to be getting targets, guys. Tyler Higbee showed late in the season that he could be a guy that Jared Goff could really rely on. I think that coming into 2020, Tyler Higbee will yet again finish inside of the top 10 at the tight end position. I think that this is a pretty safe call. He finished tight end number 8 in 2019, not even playing every game to the fullest, not even getting all the targets every single game. But now, in 2020, I think he's going to be getting more snaps, getting more targets, getting more looks from Jared Goff. And the Rams are going to be a better team this season. They really collapsed last season with that Super Bowl hangover. So I think that Tyler Higbee will be even hotter in 2020. Coming in at number 8 here, we have Evan Ingram of the New York Football Giants, 13.7 points per game. Now, the biggest concern with Evan Ingram is 100% health. That motherfucker gets injured every season. In 2019, he played 8 total games, 109.4 PPR points in that season. Tight end number 18 on the year. A not very hot looking stats for this guy. 467 total receiving yards, 15th amongst tight ends, 44 receptions on 68 targets, 3 touchdowns, 16th amongst tight ends, and 25.0 contested catch rate, 31st amongst the tight end position. Now, I am a bit worried about Evan Ingram, and that is all because of health. Daniel Jones will throw him the ball. That does not concern me. His usage does not concern me. The fact that they have a new coach, a new system, does not concern me at all. The concern is the health. If Evan Ingram plays 15, 16 games, this motherfucker is going to be a top 5 tight end all season long, but he's ranked number 8 because his injury concern really does worry me. To me, Evan Ingram is a guy that is going to be off of my draft board in many situations, unless it's super duper late in the draft, like I've seen in the mock drafts where he's going like the 10th round. Right there, I'll happily buy in on Evan Ingram, but at a higher rate where he may start going when it's August, when people are drafting, I am very off of Evan Ingram in that case. I think he does have the talent, but those injury concerns trump all to me. Maybe I can have a doctor come on here, really explain to me what the fuck is wrong with Evan Ingram. Coming in at number 7, we have Hunter Henry of the LA Superchargers, 12.5 points per game in 2019. Now, Hunter Henry is just like Evan Ingram. He is one of those guys who is going to get hurt every single year. This man lives in that blue tent. Tight end number 9 in 2019, 150.2 PPR points in 2019, 12 total games played in 2019, 652 receiving yards, 9th amongst tight ends, 55 total receptions on 76 targets, 5 tutties, 7th amongst tight ends, 75.0 contested rate, 3rd amongst tight ends. He's very good at catching those contested balls. He is a huge target in the end zone. The LA Superchargers have gotten rid of Phillip Rivers, which does kind of worry me a bit because of how much Phillip Rivers likes to target the tight end in the red zone and in the end zone. But at the end of the day, seems like the Chargers may be bringing in a new quarterback in Justin Herbert, a rookie guy coming in there. You know, rookie tight ends, like I explained this before, they love that safety net in the tight end, and Hunter Henry is a great safety net. Hunter Henry is an amazing tight end when he is on the field. The only concern, like I said, is if he will be able to stay on the field. If he can stay on the field in 2020, he's another guy that, just like Evan Ingram, could be a top 5 guy, but I am worried about the injury concerns. Hunter Henry, to me, worries me slightly less than Evan Ingram, but they are both up there on the really risky type of guys that will pay off, though, when they are on the field. Coming in at number 6, we have Austin Hooper of the Atlanta Falcons, 14.7 points per game in PPR leagues. If you guys play in standard or half PPR, it's obviously going to be slightly lower. Now, he was tight end number 6 in 2019, only playing in 13 games, still finished inside of the top 6 at the tight end position. 191.7 PPR points in 2019, 787 total receiving yards, 6th amongst tight ends, 75 receptions on 97 targets, almost at 100 targets in 2019, 6 tutties, 4th amongst tight ends, and 47.1 contested catch rate, so not the best amongst tight ends. Now, Austin Hooper seems like he's going to stay with the Atlanta Falcons and be a very solid option for them in 2020. Matt Ryan is going nowhere. Matt Ryan is still going to be heaving the rock. Now, Austin Hooper played some games, I believe, without Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan was banged up in a few games. I know he got hurt in one of the games he started, so he didn't really even play in that game. But with that said, Austin Hooper was a great option, even just playing 13 games. He was a guy that was ultra consistent all season long, and I think in 2020 he could prove to be the same type of guy. Now, he was a guy a few years ago who you would think of being a guy that you pick up super late in the draft, and he was just going to be okay. He would have his flashes, but as of recently, he has become a much more consistent tight end, and in 2020, I think he's going to continue that consistency. I think the price is going to be right for Austin Hooper in 2020. Now, on to tight end number 5, and we have Zach Ertz of the Philadelphia Eagles, 14.4 points per game in PPR leagues. Now, if you guys have enjoyed the video thus far, please make sure to click that subscribe button down below. Now, I know a lot of people in the comments may be heated about Zach Ertz being ranked number 5. Nick, Zach Ertz is fucking amazing. Why is he ranked number 5? He was ranked inside the top 3 for everyone in 2019. He'll probably be ranked top 3 in everyone's rankings in 2022, right, Nick? I'm the Concheapsis. That was funny. That was a fantasy football counselor thing right there. He calls people the Concheapsis now. I'm not very consensus on Zach Ertz. A lot of people believe Zach Ertz is going to be a top 3 tight end in 2020, but I just don't see it. Finished tight end number 4 in 2019. He was tight end number 2 on a lot of people's boards last season. Disappointed. 215.6 PPR points in 2019. 200 plus points 3 years in a row. 15 total games played in 2019. 900 receiving yards. 916 receiving yards. 4th amongst tight ends. 88 total receptions on 135 targets. 6 total touchdowns. 4th amongst tight ends. And 27.6 contested catch rate. 29th amongst tight ends. Now, my biggest worry about Zach Ertz is, 1, his injury proneness, And he wasn't really injured that many games. He only missed one game. But him, and then the fact that he played a bunch of games with broken ribs. But him and Carson Wentz being injured. Carson Wentz is one of those motherfuckers that also gets hurt, lacing up the cleats in the morning. He gets hurt, taking a shower, scrubbing his fucking back. He gets hurt. Now, Zach Ertz is also losing. Now, he's not losing snaps, but Dallas Goedert is going on the rise. Zach Ertz is they're going to meet eventually, and Dallas Goedert is going to start getting a lot more targets. Now, Zach Ertz is pretty much the only target on the Philadelphia Eagles. That is why he is ranked inside of the top 5 tight ends. He is very consistent when he's on the field. He's a guy that I'd love to have in fantasy football, but I just don't buy in on the narrative where he's going to be a top 3, top 2 guy in fantasy football in 2020. I know a lot of people are still going to be riding high on Zach Ertz, but don't forget about the fact that Dallas Goedert is here. He is the tight end one on the team. He's probably the number 1 target on the team, but like I said, I would definitely temper my expectations for Zach Ertz in 2020. Coming in at number 4, we have Darren Waller of the Las Vegas Raiders. 13.8 points per game in PPR. Tight end number 3, number uno, dos, tres in 2019. 221 total PPR points in 2019. 16 games played in 2019. Didn't miss a single game. 1,146 receiving yards. Second amongst tight ends. 90 total receptions on 117 targets. Third, 3 touchdowns, not 3 tight ends. 16th amongst tight ends at 57.9 contested catch rate. 10th amongst tight ends. Now, last year, Darren Waller was a guy that was getting a heavy push towards the end of draft season. A lot of people were telling you to draft him, me included, but I didn't super believe in him, and he exceeded all expectations. Now, the thing with Darren Waller is he was very consistent. The Raiders were not a good team, but he was still very good. This season, I think the Raiders are better. I think Derek Carr returns as the quarterback of the Las Vegas Raiders, and I think that Darren Waller continues his success in 2020. Darren Waller is a very talented tight end. He is a guy that was getting the rock so many times in these games, over 117 targets, over 1,000 receiving yards. I see no reason why Darren Waller can't be around the same in 2020. Tight end number 4 is a very safe ranking to me for Darren the Walrus Waller. Coming in number 3, we have my boy Mark Andrews of the Baltimore Ravens. 13.8 points per game in PPR leagues. Now, he finished tight end number 5 in 2019. He missed one game towards the end of the season. 207.2 PPR points in 2019, 852 receiving yards, 5th amongst tight ends, 64 receptions on 98 targets, 10, not 1, not 2, not 3, we're not going to count all the way up there, but 10 fucking touchdowns, 1st amongst tight ends, 35.3 contested catch rate, 26th amongst tight ends. Now, the Baltimore Ravens offense may not look as super hot fire as they did in 2019 because Lamar Jackson may not be able to run the ball as much as he did last season, but that does not matter because if he doesn't run the ball more, that means Mark Andrews is going to get more targets. Lamar Jackson spreads the ball out to everyone on the field. Hollywood Brown, a bunch of other motherfuckers are on that team, and Mark Andrews. And Mark Andrews was getting the ball a majority of the time. He was spreading the ball out to all his wide receivers, but his tight end, his main man in the end zone was Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews is going to continue to be a huge talent in Baltimore. He had so many game-winning weeks in 2019. It was unreal. He would carry your team, put his dick down your opponent's throat, and repeatedly fuck them until they died. I believe that Mark Andrews will have the potential to be the number 1 tight end in 2020. I believe if he played 16 games, he would have been inside the top 3 in 2019. I believe Mark Andrews is a unreal talent. He's a huge fucking man who is going to be destroying defenses in 2020. I don't believe in the narrative where they still use so many tight ends. I know they still use so many tight ends, but it doesn't matter because Mark Andrews is the lead guy on that team. I think that he is amazing in 2020 and continues to be great, just like last season. Coming in at number 2, we have George, a.k.a. Greg Kittle of the San Francisco 49ers, 15.9 points per game. Tight end number 2 in 2019, 222.5 PPR points in 2019, 2 hundo plus points 2 seasons in a row, 14 games played in 2019, over 1,000 receiving yards, 3rd amongst tight ends, 85 receptions on 107 targets, 5 total touchdowns, 7th amongst tight ends at 53.8 contested catch rate, 11th amongst tight ends. Now, George Kittle actually started this season off about as dead as possible. He was a guy in 2019 who I said was a buy low trade target. He shit the bed multiple weeks in a row. It was embarrassing. He was shit, and then he ended up getting hurt. Dwelly plays, but he comes back and he's still just as fire. George Kittle is one of the best blocking tight ends in the NFL. Probably the best blocking tight end in the NFL. You guys probably saw that clip of him fucking stuffing that guy, pancake blocking him, and laughing in his face. George Kittle is one of the best tight ends in the league with shit tier Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo might be the sexiest man on earth, but at the end of the day, he won't do shit at the quarterback position. And it doesn't matter for George Kittle because George Kittle is out there on so many plays because he's so good at blocking. That is a boost up for George Kittle. I don't think he'll be the number one tight end like many people believe in 2020, but I do think that he will be amazing. He only played in 14 games and finished as the second tight end, so I can see a lot of reasoning why he'd be number one if he played in 16 games, but I think that the fact that he may end up starting slow again because that roster may be a bit sad that they lost the Super Bowl to big man Pat Mahomes. Coming in at number one, we have the Super Bowl winning tight end Travis Kelce of the Kansas City Chiefs. 15.9 points per game in 2019. The number one tight end in 2019. He's going to be the number one guy again in 2020. 254.3 PPR points in 2019. 200 plus points 4 years in a row. 16 total games played in 2019. 1,229 receiving yards. Number one amongst tight ends. 97 receptions on 136 targets. Almost 100 receptions. 5 touchdowns. 7th amongst tight ends. And a 66.7 contested catch rate in 2019. 5th amongst tight ends. Travis Kelce is one of those guys who's not the greatest blocker. He's not one of those guys to me that you think of, oh, this is a blocking tight end. Travis Kelce is one of those guys who's one of the best wide receivers on the field. Tyreek Hill and him are the best wide receivers on the field. Most of the time, they're the top 2 players on the field besides Pat Mahomes. Travis Kelce is an unreal talent. Travis Kelce will continue to have success. Even though he's getting up there in age, he's still going to be blowing defenses out. He is a guy that is going to be targeted all game long by Pat Mahomes. And Travis Kelce was the number one tight end without Pat Mahomes for multiple games. Travis Kelce was playing without Pat Mahomes, and he was still putting in work. That shows how talented Travis Kelce is. And I think that Pat Mahomes is not a guy who's super injury prone, so that bodes well for Travis Kelce, who is also not injury prone. So I love Travis Kelce in 2020. I think he will repeat back-to-back Michael Jordan 96-97 as the number one tight end in fantasy football. So thank you guys all for watching this video. If at any point you ended up enjoying, if at any point you ended up chuckling, if at any point you ended up having a good time, click that subscribe button that's right on me now. Click the video above me, click the video on the side of me, click the video on the top side of me, top left of you. Have a fucking great rest of your day. Make sure to check out all those videos. Make sure to click that subscribe button. Make sure to tell your family you love them because any day could be your last. Goodbye, my friend.